Hi, my name is Mort and I'm one half of CNL Design, and I'd like to welcome you here to 47A and our ongoing exhibition, A Place in the Shadows, with work by Immaterial Studio. We've been following the studio's practice now for the last couple of years, and we've been very excited by their production of collectible design objects, both functional and decorative. The studio is particularly interested in the interplay between light and shadow and how that engages with the medium of cast concrete. The aesthetic with which they engage most often is that of tropical brutalism, a modernist architectural movement of the 20th century, which was applied throughout the subcontinent. And in this particular exhibition, we have two series that they have looked at deeply. The first is Sanctum, and Sanctum is a group of 9 iconic stepwells portrayed as tabletop sculptures. The history of the stepwell goes back centuries and centuries into India's history. Used essentially for accessing deep level wells and for rain harvesting, over time they became increasingly complex architectural statements, and over the last 5 years Immaterial Studio has researched many of the finest examples in India. The stepwells themselves are mainly located between Karnataka, Delhi, Rajasthan and Gujarat, and the studio has used different ways of approaching the stepwell, whether it's in cross-section or overviews themselves. They have measured each of the stepwells and then made 2-scale models, and it's fascinating to see the kind of detailing they've been able to achieve. What they've done, of course, is that they have removed many of the embellishments that one sees on these stepwells, and we're left then really looking at the architecture itself and going back to the philosophy of the studio, engaging with this interplay of light and shadow. And of the 9 stepwells that have been chosen, really the period in which we're concerned is the 9th to the 16th centuries. That period of great temple building across the country. And these stepwells, in a sense, become inverted temples of some sort. Apart from purely architectural statements, of course, they played a political and also a social function in the life of the country. And that's something that as yet has been woefully under-researched, but hopefully through interventions like Sanctum, this will now be developed into an ongoing scholarly pursuit for future generations. Now we move on to the second series in the exhibition. The second series in the exhibition is called Recast, again working with cast concrete. These are architectural fragments conceived as individual units which then come together to create these forms. Conceptually, Immaterial Studio is here dealing with the idea of fragmentary memory, especially, let's say, childhood memories. When we think of spaces from our childhoods, often we see them in our minds not as complete spaces, but as fragments. We see stairs or a window or a roof or any part of a building, but we never see the totality. And so in that way, these large Lego-like structures come together to form these strange, dreamlike spaces. These spaces are both functional, for example, in the form perhaps of a coffee table, or entirely sculptural, as in this totem. And this very much talks to earlier series which Immaterial studio has executed. In a sense, this is now scaled up to a different size. And so working alongside the Sanctum series, these two elements then play against one another in a quite beautiful way. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much, and we hope to meet you again very soon, either here at 47A or at Chatterjee and Lowe. Thanks so much.